All right. Thank you so much, guys. Wow, that's good. From 9 participants earlier, we are already at 42 participants. Let's give a round of applause for everyone who's here and for giving your time to, learn another skill, learn another knowledge about being a virtual assistant or becoming a virtual assistant, whether you are currently a virtual assistant or you're still aspiring to be. So again, just a few house rules. If you want to ask specific questions that you want us to answer real time, you can use our Q&A section. And then if you want to interact with your fellow aspiring virtual assistants, please do use our regular chat box. So good evening. Happy first Friday of April. I also want to acknowledge the people who are joining at this Zoom meeting who are basically watching from different cities and places in the Philippines. Mostly are from Pasig, Imus, Cavite, La Union, Quezon City. Let's try to use the clap reaction here on our Zoom, guys. Let's go. Quezon City, Davao, Malaysia. Wow, Malaysia. Bulacan, Caloocan, Imus, Cavite, Cebu, Dagupan, Zambales. I love the beaches in Zambales. Parañaque, Marikina, Quezon Province, Bulacan, Tarlac, Cebu, Argao, Baguio. Wow, I've been in Baguio last week during the holiday. Pampanga, Calamba City, Laguna, San Francisco, Agusan del Sur. So thank you so much, guys, for your effort. And also, I'm hoping that your internet connection would be stable as we continue this webinar. I would also like to acknowledge those people who are watching from our Facebook Live. Yes, that is correct. We are currently streaming through Facebook. So if you also want to, leave some comments on our Facebook page through the live, please do so that we can also inspire a lot of virtual assistants and we can just invite more people to watch our webinar. So again, good evening. My name is Joanna and I will be your host for tonight's Virtudesk webinar. And our webinar is entitled Building Your Virtual Assistant's Career. So I know some of you are maybe asking what is a virtual assistant. Some of you is thinking that this might be an opportunity for you to switch careers from the current career or profession that you have right now. So let me ask to those who are not yet a virtual assistant or who doesn't have any experience yet. What is your current profession? What's your work right now, guys? Oh, wow. That's a lot. Very engaging audience. Branch assistant, BPO, public school teacher, call center agent. I am a previous call center agent as well for 6 years. Finance and admin assistant, IT, medtech, office work researcher. Oh, wow. That's good. Well, thank you so much for your responses, guys. XOFW, digital marketing, and this is my second try. Previous virtual front desk assistant. Oh, good. Well, all of your work is worth it. And all of your profession right now would really contribute a lot of skills that you can use once you become a virtual assistant. And this webinar is dedicated for every one of you. And this will be very helpful because this will serve as your guide or your manual to become a virtual assistant. And also to inform you that we also have our virtual assistant manual, which contains everything that you need to know about becoming a virtual assistant, what are the tools required, what are the apps that you need to use. Everything is available. And the good news with that is it's for free. So you don't have to, really pay for anything when it comes to the manual. So our manual is available through our LinkedIn and through our Instagram. So later on, we will be plugging that and we'll be sending the link through the comments so that you can just click through the link. A link will redirect you to our pages. Anyways, enough with that. Let's go ahead and proceed to our webinar agenda. So these are our webinar agenda for tonight. Tools to make your virtual assistant journey easier, must-have tools as a virtual assistant, beating distractions at home, taking care of your mental health, setting up your workstation, application process, available positions, and our Q&A. So we will be spending at least a couple of minutes by the end of this webinar so we can answer some of your questions if you weren't able to arrive or to join earlier when we started. Let's proceed to defining what is a virtual assistant. So a virtual assistant is an independent contractor who provides administrative support, administrative help to a person that you are not working with physically on the same location. Basically, your work is entirely remote, or you are working through your equipment with an internet and you are communicating with your boss, with your client, manager, supervisor online. So mostly our clients are located in the US. Sometimes they are from Canada. And sometimes we also have Australian clients. Again, that depends on the vast industry of virtual assistant. So aside from the word virtual assistant, somehow we are also called virtual professional, virtual web assistant, or an online personal assistant. Just so you can understand it a little bit easier on what the whole aspect of virtual assistant is. Next is, what are the common tasks of a virtual assistant? So some of you are wondering, what does a VA do? Or how can I start becoming a virtual assistant? Or what are the things that I need to know before I apply as a virtual assistant? So first is email management. So when you say email management, from the word itself, you manage the email, you sort out the most priority to the least priority, you delete spam messages, you are responsible for arranging folders for each messages so that it would help your client understand, or they can see the most important email first. So it's your responsibility to make your client's life easier, and it's also your responsibility to arrange their emails. So it's not going to be chaotic, it's going to be organized, and it's easier to view. Next is also social media management. Especially right now in the world of technology, some businesses really emerge from social media. So we have different social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok especially. So those are the examples of social media platforms. And your responsibility as a virtual assistant is to post content, post videos, post images, reply to comments. Also, it's your responsibility to engage more followers and to also make sure that the image of the business stays positive online. Next is calendar management. This is typically for clients who has like a task of interviewing people, or like HR. So calendar management is perfect because it would help you like set up an appointment with someone, set up an interview with someone, or just set up someone's meeting. What are the dates available for them? What are the days that are not available for them? Just basically helping them out with their daily schedules. Next is to conduct market research and report on the results. It's your responsibility as well. For example, if you're handling social media management, it's your responsibility to make sure that the stats keeps progressing positively. So you want to make sure that your followers are increasing, the comments are increasing, and basically the views and engagement are all increasing. And lastly is graphic designing, or I forgot to include also video editing. So it's your responsibility to help the client promote the business online. That includes creating graphic designs for the audience to see, videos, status, or basically captions for pictures. So that's your responsibility because it's going to be easier for your client. They just have to share it. So out of these common tasks, what is something that you're already familiar, guys? Calendar management, email management. Oh, so some of you are really familiar when it comes to email management. Real estate, social media, market research. Okay, so it seems that some of you are already familiar when it comes to the tasks of a virtual assistant. It's time now for us to discuss what tools would really make your VA journey easier. So virtual assistants often rely on these kinds of tools so that it would be easier for them. It's convenient, and it is one way for them to streamline their work and improve efficiency. So here are some tools that can make your VA journey easier. First is Slack, Zoom, MS Teams, and Skype. This belongs to our communication tools. So these communication tools is responsible for team communication and collaboration, video conferencing and virtual meetings, voice calls, and instant messaging. So usually these applications is responsible to help VAs when it comes to interviews, private messages, communicating with your client, communicating with customers, just basically interacting with your fellow teammates. Next is project management tools. These are the tools that helps you manage your tasks. They also help schedule your tasks. Asana, Trello, ClickUp. For this project management tools, that includes task and project management. These are also popular tools for team collaboration. So it allows your teammates, your boss to comment on these specific projects and outputs real time so that you can also update and change it if needed. And lastly, we have document management and storage. The examples are Google Drive, which I know some of us is really familiar, Dropbox, and Evernote. This is the first time that I heard about Evernote, so I want to explore that as well. These are helpful when it comes to storing and sharing documents, like sharing the link. And also, it helps you to basically just save a certain project so that you can use it again in the future if needed. Which of these tools is something that you're already using? Trello, Google Drive, yes. Google Drive is really an efficient tool, especially for students. Evernote, Trello, wow. None for project management, but I'm using communication tools, Google Drive, and Dropbox. Okay. For iOS users, we also have iCloud, right? iCloud, so it allows us to store and back up files and also images so that we can view it somehow. Again, let us now proceed on the must-have equipment as a virtual assistant. So of course, as a virtual assistant working remotely, you need specific equipment to effectively perform your job or your duties to provide quality and efficient support to clients. So first is a laptop or PC. Who here already has laptop or PC? So that's the first requirement, guys. You really do need your laptop or your equipment because that is where you're going to be doing the interviews. That is where you're going to be creating your resume. That is where you're going to be replying to emails. And that is basically the equipment that you're going to be using once you start to do your tasks. So it is very essential for performing various tasks because basically everything that you have to do is rely on your computer. So you use it for communication, research, document editing, and accessing online tools and platforms. Next is, we'll proceed to the next equipment that a VA needs, which is, of course, your internet. So we require wired internet connection, fiber, because it's fast, it's efficient, and it has little to minimal issues. Instead of using broadbands or, pocket Wi-Fi's or, portable internets, it's stable compared to those things. But again, we still require you to reserve a backup equipment, a backup internet. Again, this is not for us, but it's for you. Especially here in the Philippines, it's not always stable when it comes to electricity and internet. So, we just really want to be ready at all times because, again, we are virtual assistants and it's our responsibility to make sure that our clients' business stays on track. So if anything might happen when it comes to our equipment, this might affect the business as well. Next is a noise canceling headset. Again, we do not really ask for a headset, just a headset itself, but a noise canceling headset. What's good about noise canceling headset is from the word itself, it cancels noise. It cancels irrelevant noises from the background. It would help you sound professional. It would be presentable when you're having your interviews with your bosses. And it would really sound great when you are calling or doing appointment settings. So it minimizes distractions. It enhances your concentration, especially during virtual meetings. phone calls and tasks that require focus. So that's the reason why we do interviews, because we want to test your equipment. And we don't want to do interviews and then we cannot understand you because of your headset. And lastly is your webcam, just like this webcam. So always make sure that it's not just an ordinary webcam, but at least an HD webcam. It's good because it helps you to look professional when you're presenting yourself to your clients or through interviews. Out of those four equipments that we have, what is something that you do not have yet? None. Okay, have all. That's good. That's a good start. And again, if you don't have the complete set, that's completely fine. Next is beating distractions at home. So it can be a bit challenging, to be honest, because it's very essential for a virtual assistant to maintain your focus, to make sure. So I would like to present some strategies to help you overcome these distractions. First is a dedicated workspace. This is something that we require because you can work effectively, you can work responsibly if your workspace is all good and all set up. If it's organized, if it's clutter-free, and it is located on a place that is quiet and comfortable and free from any distractions. So I understand that some of our VAs are mostly moms or single moms or someone who has kids at home. So even though you have kids at home, that's completely fine. But again, please do make sure that you have a dedicated workspace, a secluded office, or at least a one bedroom that is basically your quiet place for you to focus work. Next is to establish a routine. So by establishing a routine, this would really help you to focus on your goal daily and to help you make sure that you finish your tasks every day. These kinds of routine includes what we call daily task schedules. So for example, your work starts at, let's say, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. What are the things that you do between 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, until your EOS or your end of shift? So having a structured schedule can help you stay focused because it will help you to follow these schedules and not doing anything that's not related to your work. Next is also minimize environmental distractions. What are these kinds of environmental distractions? These are noise, clutter. For example, coffee mugs in your table, or like cables from your chargers that are not organized. So these are kinds of environmental distractions. Next is take regular breaks. So by taking regular breaks, it allows your mind to pause, to take some time to breathe. So, if you cannot take regular breaks, why not, go on vacations, or during your weekends, you can spend time with your family, you can spend time with friends, just talk about life. And basically, there are a lot of ways for us to unwind. All right. Next is staying organized. So again, staying organized means clutter-free table. Make sure that everything is all set. So that's it for our tips on how to beat distractions at home. Next is we will be setting up your workstation, which is a very exciting thing. If you don't have any workstation yet, well, I think this is the time for you to decide which part of your house is going to be your workstation. So setting up your workstation as a virtual assistant is essential. And at the same time, it's also enjoying because you get to design your workstation. You get to choose what color your table is, your wall, or any accessories that would really help you increase that energy in coming to work. It helps you to become productive and comfortable as well while working. So here are the things that we can do it, and also the tips on how to start setting up your workstation. So first is invest in an ergonomic chair. I know that this is different from a work or an office chair because an ergonomic chair is really designed for your backbone, if I'm correct. It promotes good posture. All right. Next is organizing your equipment. So this is also fun. You get to organize your equipment, where you want to position your laptop. Where do you want to position your monitor? or your mouse, or do you have a certain organizer for your pens, ball pens, pencils, or a drawer wherein you can put all the cables for your wires or your charger. So organizing your equipment is also important because it will help you locate the things that you need effectively. I already have design for my workstation, but the only missing is the work itself. It's okay, dear. And believe me, I already have this work, but I haven't still achieved my dream workstation. So I'm working with that. Hopefully we could get a good table. And also my dream is to do like what do you call this? Like the walking pad while working so that you can work while standing and then jogging at the same time. So that's really fun. And dreaming is for everyone. I think that's a good way to really set your standard when it comes to your goals, because dreaming would really give you at least a glimpse of how it feels like. Dreaming helps you to achieve it more and to have that kind of eagerness that I want that. This is something that I want and I would work for. Next is to set up your computer. Make sure that your computer has enough ventilation. It has good air ventilation. It's near from a fan so that if in case it overheats, which I think is normal for, laptops or computers if you're using it for a very long time. Customize your desktop, not only with the physical computer or with the physical equipment, but with the desktop as well. Make sure that your computer doesn't have all the files posted on the screen. Make sure that you can create folders for it so that you can easily locate the files you need to use. Slowly investing once become a VA, then you can have it all in one day. Yes, that is correct. Before I was just only dreaming with the laptop. Again, guys, or just to inform you that being a virtual assistant, dreaming never ends, guys. Always remember that, because once you become a virtual assistant and then you're working at home and then you're earning dollars, it doesn't stop. The ordering doesn't stop. The upgrades doesn't stop. So slowly investing, but I wanna let you know that what you have right now is something that you've been praying or dreaming before. I think that's a nice quote, because before I was just dreaming of having a laptop when I was still in high school, because my generation, when I was still in high school, you have to go to computer shops. That was my dream before. Like, I get to do Facebook at home because I do have my laptop. I was all even envious with my friends, my classmates, because they have computers at home and they get to chat until midnight. But me, I have to go home because I only have 15 pesos, and that's just equivalent to 1 hour in computer shops. But right now I already have the laptop. But sometimes I always think, maybe I still need another monitor. And then I bought another monitor. And then I said, I think I need another mouse. I need another ring light. So the upgrade never stops, guys. But it's a good thing because you get to have the things that you've been dreaming before, and you get to achieve it as a reality. All right. Yes, dreaming and making a way to achieve it. Okay, sorry again. Beating distractions at home. Next is maintaining cleanliness. So when you say clean, you have to make sure that your equipment is clean, the location is clean, and that your workstation is clean. Make sure that it's organized, and you get to create a conducive environment for productivity and focus. Okay, so regularly dust and clean your equipment. Make sure that you do not put a cup of coffee or water beside your equipment. Guys, that is a very dangerous thing to do, because once that you might slip your cup of coffee, and then the liquid goes or seeps into your keyboard, then that's the end for you, guys. I'm sorry. But sometimes, equipment still work, especially if it's just water. But if it's coffee or anything that has sugar in it, it's very difficult to fix equipment. So make sure to declutter your workspace. If there are any crumpled papers around, or if there are pens and papers, just always make sure to fix it. There will be a malfunction. Yes. Get a liquid proof keyboard. My kids just gifted me. I haven't heard of liquid proof keyboard, but I'll go ahead and check that out later. I think that's gonna be useful, especially if you have kids around as well. All right. So we're already done in setting up your workstation. Let us proceed to the do's and don'ts during the interview. So for do's, do some research, prepare your list of references, practice with a friend, prepare smart questions for the interviewers. Next is don't go unprepared. Always make sure that you do your research, not with the company itself, but with the position that you're applying as well. Don't be too casual. Do not read off your screen or do not memorize your answers, and do not lose focus. So I'll be showing you guys, we will be showing you a quick mock interview so that you do have an idea what goes when it comes to interview, what are the questions being asked, or what it feels like when it comes to interviews.
Hello, my name is Elias and I'm with Virtudesk. How are you doing today, Migs?
I'm very good, Elias. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you as well. I'm looking forward to hearing a little bit more about your background. It looks like you are a podcast virtual assistant, correct?
That's correct, Elias. And actually, I've been a podcast virtual assistant for 3 months now, and I was working on editing and distributing our audio to multiple listening platforms.
Okay. Could you tell me a little bit more about your experience in managing podcasts as a virtual assistant?
All right. Actually, managing podcasts is not difficult as it is. When you manage a podcast, you need to have listeners that can go to your clients, to your guests.
How can a podcast virtual assistant help grow my business?
Actually, a podcast connects you to who your business is selling to. For example, your customers again, clients, guests, and anyone who listens to your podcast. This communication and regular engagement that a podcast allows helps develop a dedicated community around your business.
What are different podcast tools that you will use to kind of help me out with it?
Actually, that's a very good question. Right now, what I'm using is Adobe Audition, but there are multiple podcast tools that we can use, like free tools. Just type it in Google and then it will come out.
Okay. And how are you able to kind of like distribute your audio to different platforms?
As of the moment, we're using Simplecast to distribute our audio into multiple platforms. And through that, we can distribute that through Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon, and also Spotify, the most recent one, and multiple platforms that we can distribute our audios.
So you have a wide range there. It looks like a lot of different opportunities.
So many.
I like to hear that. Look, could you give me any like tips and tricks for like creating a podcast just in general?
Actually, there are 3 tips that I can provide you, Elias. One is, of course, your podcast must be interesting and also engaging. Number 2, we should have at least 25 minutes of your audio. And number 3, you should have at least 10 episodes to come up with before you publish your podcast live. The reason behind that is because if your listeners want to listen another episode of your podcast, they will not miss it out while you're creating one for the next pass or for the next 2 weeks.
Well, I really appreciate you kind of telling me a little bit more about your background, how you're able to take care of everything. Migs, I don't have any other questions at this time. So I just want to say thank you for taking the time to speak with me today and answering all my questions.
Thank you for having me here, Elias, and I do appreciate it. Have a great one, Elias.
Bye-bye. Have a great day.
Virtudesk on the way to success. So that was one of our VAs, and that was the mock interview. So what have you noticed about the specific interview? What are your takeaways? What are the things that you've noticed? Yes, that is correct. The VA was very confident. That is true. The VA was also sure of his answers, like he was prepared. Interview is ready with his answers. Yes. So you really need to be well knowledge and well versed with this specific niche because you're trying to sell yourself. You're trying to invite them to hire you, basically. All right. So hopefully that specific mock interview video helped you a lot. And we will now proceed to Virtudesk's available positions. We have three positions available: GVA, ISA, and EVA. So for GVA, that's for $3 per hour. That is our non-voice position. So social media management, blog writing, database management, data entry, administrative tasks, and email management. For our ISA, that is our voice position. So this position is perfect for those who have experience when it comes to call centers. So if you are working in the BPO industry before, this is the perfect position for you, because this involves outbound cold calling, appointment setting, concierge services, or basically customer service itself. So this is good for those people who has BPO experience, because you're already familiar with how the industry works and how you answer and speak with customers through phone calls. And lastly, our EVA position. This is our blended position. So this is a combination of voice and non-voice tasks. Okay? So the tasks includes social media management, blog writing and marketing collaterals, database management, appointment setting. So basically, the tasks that we read earlier in the ISA and the GVA is just the same. So the tasks is basically blended, voice and non-voice tasks. And again, guys, if you're asking if whether you have to do all these tasks to a specific position, no, that depends on your client. But don't worry, because sometimes you're just gonna be asked to do several tasks from that specific position. All right, so these are our frequently asked questions. Again, we only hire Filipino citizens currently residing in the Philippines. So the duration of when you'll get hired will always depend on your performance during your interviews. We only offer full-time positions, 8 hours per day, 40 hours per week. VAs or virtual assistants can have multiple clients, but that depends on your skills and that depends on your performance. Weekends off, that's fixed, Saturdays and Sundays. Working hours will be hours per day. Sorry, I already said that. 12 paid vacation leaves, 5 paid sick leaves. All incentives are client-based. And HMO dental checkups after 6 months with a client. All right, so that's it, guys. Thank you so much for spending your time in joining this webinar. Hello, Faiza. No experience pwede po. No experience when it comes to VA, we accept, but we require 6 months experience with admin-related tasks or BP. Government benefits, Florenda, no, we do not have any government benefits. So you have to basically do your voluntary contributions on your. So before I answer the rest of your questions, guys, thank you so much again. And I also would like to acknowledge the viewers that we have on Facebook and here on our Zoom. You're very much welcome, guys. So I'm going to be ending our live maybe later so that I can still ask some engagements from you guys. So as a form of a thank you, guys, again, this is what I do every end of webinar. As a form of thank you, it would really mean a lot if you can subscribe and follow through our social media platforms. Okay, comment done if you are already followed our TikTok page. Comment subscribe if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And just reply with thumbs up if you followed either our Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. This would really help a lot, guys. This would really mean a lot to me as well, personally. That's going to be as a form of your thank you. So that is what I would take as a thank you, guys. So sorry, let me answer. While you are subscribing and following our social media platforms, let me answer some of the questions that I was able to skip earlier. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much, guys. ISA, how to apply? Again, guys, always visit myvirtudesk.ph and then just click apply now. What is the usual daily schedule? It's always in graveyard because we have to adjust to our client's time zone. So that's in graveyard, but the specific time of schedule would always depend on your client. That's going to be between 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. Between, guys, between. Thank you for this webinar. You're very much welcome. Again, thumbs up if you like and follow our Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Comment subscribed if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and comment done if you followed our TikTok page. So if you want to see more of me and more of the content that I create, please do visit our TikTok. And then I have the most recent free webinar TikTok content. Please do comment. Thank you for the webinar. Our VA manual is available and you can view it for free through our Instagram and LinkedIn. Guys, take that because that's for free, and take advantage of it because that would really help you a lot. Do you accept no BPO experience, Janielle Cantos? If you don't have any BPO experience, at least admin-related task experience. All right. Let me acknowledge everyone who did. Jonna, John Lawrence, Jervin, Rose, Anna, Nina, Florenda, Madel, Micah, Anna Rose, John Lawrence, Macy, Carl, Madel, Carl, and Maria, Nina, Matthew, Micah, Luis, Macy, Santos, and Rose May. Thank you for the webinar. Rose May, please comment the thank you for the webinar on our free webinar content in TikTok. We'll be ending this webinar and live by 10:05 p.m. All right, so our marketing team sent the link for our virtual assistant manual on Instagram and LinkedIn. So that's already linked. That's the link, guys. You just have to click it and it will redirect you to the manual itself. Again, guys, it's for free. You're welcome, Carl. Please follow our social media platform. Thank you. Okay, I've been seeing follows. Thank you so much. I'm seeing follows from LSU, John Lawrence, FJ, Kath Ben. May 2 commented, thank you for the webinar. You're welcome. Teacher Raqueta, thank you for the webinar. You're welcome. FJ commented, thank you for the webinar. You're welcome. And John Lawrence commented, thank you for the webinar. You're very much welcome, guys. And again, guys, I would just like to warn each and every one of you that if someone is asking for money or any monetary exchange, when it comes to applying, please do block and let us know immediately because, again, our application is for free. And you even get a training allowance once you are hired. So we're not asking for any money. Please let us know. And if someone is grabbing our pictures and photos online, please let us know so that it could come up to our attention and we can block it as soon as possible. So it's 10:05 p.m. guys. Thank you so much for spending your time. Again, we'll see you by our TikTok Live next Friday and our another webinar by April 19th. So good night and thank you so much for giving your time. Thank you and happy Friday, guys, and happy weekend.